So, hello everyone. My name is Becky with Scott Leroy Marketing. Today we are going to be doing our DocuSign 101 class. So, we're going to be jumping into DocuSign. We're going to talk through how to connect it, how to send documents out for signatures, and things like that. So, we're going to go ahead and get going on there. Before I jump fully in there, I do want to make a couple notes here. First, as we are going through, if you have any questions, please go ahead and drop them in the chat. I will do my best to get those answered in real time. For the sake of timing, I may have to save them for the very end, if it's a little bit more of an in-depth question with a more in-depth answer. But I will definitely save time to answer those. So if you um, see me grabbing some quick questions, but I don't get to yours, don't worry. I will go through the chat at the very end to make sure I get all of the questions. Promise I'm not ignoring you. If you are watching this back on recording, you can always email us. Our email is support@scottleroymarketing.com. And we are always more than happy to help out, help answer your questions. That goes for anyone in this live as well. If you have questions later on or on a different video you watch on our YouTube channel, you can always reach out to us via email. I'm going to drop that email in the chat for you. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. All right. And I'm also going to link our YouTube channel here for you all. Today's class recording will be available on our YouTube channel within 24 hours. Since it is Friday, it should be by the end of business today. But we always have them up within 24 hours, so you should be able to find it there. I did just drop that link. One thing I do always like to point out on our YouTube channel is when you are on our YouTube channel, you always want to make sure you're looking at the videos tab when you're, especially when you're trying to find a class that you just watched or something like that. We always recommend checking out the videos tab right here. This right here on our Scott Leroy Marketing YouTube channel, the dashboard, this is going to show the top 12 most recent. But you can always just click this button right here that says videos, or up here and flip to the videos tab. And it's going to show you all of our videos in reverse chronological order. So you'll have the last one, most recent one up at the very top. Things are always changing with Command and the services that we offer here at Scott Leroy Marketing. And so we just always recommend looking for those most recent videos. Same thing goes for if you're searching, just make sure you're checking the dates on those videos. I'm going to search for today's class just to show you. So you see I just searched DocuSign 101, which is the name of today's class. And if you look, the top three videos are 2 and 3 years old, so that is not going to have updated information at all. Things have changed. Things have even changed in the past month since we did our last one. Smaller changes, but still some changes there. So then you would have to scroll all the way down, and then our most recent one is showing from 3 weeks ago. So that's why we always recommend the videos tab. But if you are searching for videos, please just keep an eye on those dates. If you are watching a video that you found and it doesn't look right, it doesn't look the same as yours, you can always reach out to us via email, and we can help provide guidance on if it's more recent change, what's different, or we can provide an updated video for you. So there's some options there. But if something doesn't look right, feel free to email us. We're more than happy to help out there. All right, so with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and jump in. I know some people have joined since I started this. So if you're joining and you have questions as we go through, you can go ahead and drop them in the chat. I promise I will save time at the very end for questions. And I'll try to get to them as we go through. But all right, so we're going to go ahead and jump in. So first question is, what is DocuSign? DocuSign is a signature platform used to send out forms for signatures and have those contracts signed, and then it integrates with Command so that you can go ahead and upload it directly into your Command account, into your opportunity for compliance with your market center. Some market centers do use .loop. We are not covering .loop today, but most market centers that we work with are currently using DocuSign. DocuSign does have to be a DocuSign Rooms account for it to integrate properly with Command, and it does have to actually be created through your Command account. So if we did your setup, we most likely went ahead and set that up for you, or at least sent the invite for you, or we'll let you know if you already have an account connected. But we'll go ahead and I'm going to show you how you can create a new DocuSign account or connect an existing one. So the first thing we want to do is we are signed into command, which is agent.kw.com. And then we're going to go to our settings. So we're going to click our name in the top right corner, and we're going to go down to settings. So under settings, it's going to go ahead and bring you to the applications right here. And you'll see that my DocuSign is already connected. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect that so that I can show you. So if you do ever need to disconnect an account, you'll just click disconnect and then disconnect right here. But then when you go to connect an account, you're just going to click connect account next to DocuSign. It's going to have your preferred first name and last name. You can adjust those. And then that preferred email. So that's the email you want the account under, and you want the DocuSign documents to be sent from. So if you are creating a new account, you can go ahead and enter that in right there, and then you'll send the registration email. You have to complete the invitation from the registration email for it to be a KW DocuSign Rooms, so just make sure you follow the steps there. We're going to go ahead, and we have an account already, so we're going to go ahead and click log in here. And that's going to ask for the preferred email. We're going to go ahead and drop that in there and then log in. It's going to give us this pop-up asking us for our logins. There we go. So we'll just enter that password in, click log in from there. And then it's going to give you this teal banner that says DocuSign is now connected and ready to use. If you are creating a new account, you might see a button that says authorize right here. So once you've created that account, you just click authorize to make sure that is connected properly. It'll have you sign into your DocuSign account and things like that. So if you see authorized, just go ahead and click that and get it authorized, and then you should see connected as the current status. So now that we have that taken care of, we're going to go back to our command home. And so the first thing you want to do when you are trying to create a DocuSign room, so DocuSign Rooms, I do want to clarify, is a specific type of DocuSign account. And so the rooms correlate with the opportunities specifically. So you want to make sure you have a DocuSign Rooms account, and we'll look at that and we'll see that it looks a little different than what you would normally see in just an e-signature account. But yeah, so once we are in here, when you are creating an opportunity and you want to connect it to DocuSign, you do have to start the DocuSign room directly from your opportunity. So we're going to go over to our opportunities right here. It's the two hands shaking on the left-hand side. And once we're here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab our opportunity. We do have a video that walks you through the opportunities pipeline, and that's going to be our opportunities overview and sales pipeline. You can find a recording on our YouTube channel if you're looking for that. I'd say it's kind of like a part one for this class. They really go hand in hand, so it doesn't matter which order you watch them in. They go hand in hand, and they both reference each other throughout. So this one just covers more of the DocuSign side one, and the other one just covers the opportunities within command. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab an opportunity through here. Let's see if I have one that doesn't have DocuSign linked already. That one's connected. I have to create a new one here real quick. That one's connected. There we go. This one isn't. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to be in our opportunity here. And all of these details in here, so this is one thing, actually really the main thing that would be different from our last time we held this class is the opportunities layout is different. They changed what it looks like a bit. It's all pretty much the same information, it's just in different locations. And this panel on the left-hand side is going to show on all of your tabs, so you can see those details throughout here. But you can go ahead and you can go in and fill out all of this information in here before you create that DocuSign room. You don't have to, you can fill it out as you go through, but all of the details in here are going to fill into your DocuSign account directly. So when you're ready to go ahead and create your DocuSign room, you're just going to go to the Documents tab, and you're going to say Sync with DocuSign. So we'll say that. Give it a second. It's going to pull up DocuSign Rooms for us. And then you'll see right here, it created a new room for us. It has the same name as our opportunity. So you'll be able to go through. We'll see the details tab here, and this is where all of that information feeds over from our opportunity. So if we update this information through here throughout the transaction, we update our key dates and, ownership or general information, I guess, not the ownership because we can't update that. But the general information, the key dates, and some of this financial information on the left-hand side. When we make those updates, we're going to have the option to sync our DocuSign again. You'll see a bubble right here that shows sync. I'll go ahead and enter an address right here so we can see what that looks like. I'll grab that one. We'll just say save. And then you'll see right there, and you'll see this bubble that says sync to DocuSign. It'll tell you how many fields are synced or are not synced. So you'll say sync to DocuSign, and it's going to say it's going to send over that information. So we'll say update real quick, and then we can refresh our page, and it should show that it's all updated and synced. And there we go. You'll see the green sync right next to each of the fields, so you'll know that it is synced. So we can go over here, we'll refresh that, and then we'll see that information has populated into here. So before we jump into sending out signatures out, I do want to show you how you can make sure your forms are integrated into DocuSign. I'm going to go back to we're just going to be still in DocuSign Rooms. I'm just going to go to the dashboard. This works if you go to rooms.docusign.com. You would be able to update your forms there. You don't have to go through the opportunity in order to access it after you've already connected the opportunity. So once you create it through the Documents tab, create the room, you'll be able to just go to DocuSign or rooms.docusign.com and you'll be able to find your rooms there. So you'll see them populate here. This is the last one we were talking about. But in order to make sure that our forms are connected, we're going to click our initials in the top right corner, or if you have a profile picture, it might populate that instead. You'll go down to Preferences right here. And then we're going to go to the Integrations tab down below. Once we are on the Integrations tab, we have some options here so we can link our zip forms right here. So some market centers use zip forms, and some market centers are different. I think in California and maybe Canada as well, you would get your forms through a third-party platform. So some of them are a little different in that they'll have you download your forms directly from the provider and then upload to DocuSign in order to send out. So that one would be a little bit different. But if you are connecting zip forms, you can do that right here. You would just click that button and enter your zip forms information. Zip forms username and password. Heads up, it does confuse some people. This is not going to be your NAR logins. This will be a separate login for zip forms. So you would go ahead and enter that in. You do not have to use zip forms, but if your market center is, that's how you can connect it. Down below, you'll see on mine says company forms right here. This means that we do have our market center forms connected through here already. So some market centers have additional forms that they add. If you are not seeing company forms right here, just click Add Provider. And where mine says Continue to Company Forms without validation and is grayed out, it'll be a blue hyperlink. You'll just click on it and it will go ahead and add those company forms. From there, you're going to want to enter in your NAR affiliation right here. So if you are part of an NAR board, or association, not board, sorry, an MLS board, you would just click Add Provider. You'll grab your association. So these 5 right here, Georgia, Northwest MLS, California, Oregon, and Texas. Those ones are all separate, but you can go to the NAR button right here and go in and enter your member ID. That's going to be your NRDS ID, or I believe they've also started calling it an M1 number. Most people will just refer to it as their NRDS. So That's what we'll call it. So your member ID, your last name. So the last name does need to be entered exactly as it is on your license and with your association for it to work. So if it's a hyphenated name, you need to include the hyphen. If there's a space between the names, like it's a double last name, you would need to enter it that way. And then you'll select your association from the list down here. They have a ton of options to choose from. And then you would just click validate and it'll let you know if it went through. This is also something that we're able to do for you. You can reach out to us via email, support@scottleroymarketing.com, and we're happy to get that integrated for you as well. So we're going to go back over to our dashboard. Do mean to include, you can also integrate your Dropbox, Google Drive, or Box through here if you want to use those in order to add files. All right, so now that we have the forms integrated, the next thing we want to do is I want to show you how you can add forms to your DocuSign Room individually. So we'll go ahead and I do see a question about adding the forms. So if you add forms on the hyperlink, the continue to company forms without validation, is that what it says? That will it affect the library of everyone in your market center or only you? It will only affect you. So it's just going to add those forms to your My Documents tab right here. So if we go to My Documents, you'd see all of those populate in here, and then you can add those forms directly. Only your market center is going to be able to edit the forms or anything like that for the entire market center. So you would just add them here. They'd show up in your documents, as you can see through here, and then you would just go in and add it to your room, which I'm about to show you how to do. Hopefully that answered your question, Heather. If not, feel free to let me know. Okay, perfect. Just want to make sure. All right, so we're going to go back over to our room right here. So this is our DocuSign room. Again, we created it through our opportunity, which is why we have it here. It does have to be created through the opportunity for it to sync correctly. But now that we are here, we've looked at this details tab. We can also click edit right here and go ahead and adjust any of this information, like our seller name, more sellers, listing agent, buyer's agent, down below the buyer's information. So you can fill that out so it will auto-populate over to those fields on your forms. As you get more familiar with the forms, you'll probably know better what information you'll need, because you will not need every single one of these fields filled out for it to populate to your forms. That gets a little crazy, but you can. So you will probably know as you go through what you want to update so that it will populate onto the forms automatically. So that's just something you'll figure out as you go through, but you can always adjust those forms before sending them out. So then we're going to go to the Documents tab within our room. And we have no documents here yet. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add documents. So there's 3 or 4 different ways you can add documents. So we can click this plus button right here that says add, and we can upload them directly from our computer. We can grab DocuSign forms. We can add them from zip forms if we have that connected. And then those 3 document providers down below that we were looking at as well. So if you wanted to do your DocuSign forms, we'll just click on that. And then you're going to see all of the forms through here. So you'll see the packets that your market center has created to kind of just make sure you have everything you need in one place. But you can also go through the libraries down here, and that will have your NAR associations, the forms they provided, your market center, your MLS, anything like that. So you'll see all of them all through here, and you have the option to go choose them. If you want, you can search. We can go here and we can say, see, everyone calls it a slightly different thing. So we'll just go with, I'll just grab that one right there. So you can go in and you can grab all of these documents through here. You can preview it if you're not sure, and you'll see it right in there. All of the DocuSign forms are going to say sample form across them. There's not an option to just download them without any information, just blank forms. You would likely have to get that from your NAR, your MLS board or from your real estate commission. So whoever's providing those forms directly for you, you would probably have to get the blank copies from them just because DocuSign is always going to say sample form across it. So I do get that question quite a bit. Just wanted to go ahead and um, let you know there. But we can go ahead and we can select all of the ones we want to use. And we can grab them from multiple different locations through here. We can just grab a couple that we can see in here. I'll go listing from here. That's required one. So we'll just grab those. You'll be able to see the selected forms right here. And so you'll be able to see all of the different ones in here. If your form has different templates, you can select them right there. So you can say none, residential, or standard agency. I'm not really familiar with the differences there specifically, so I'll just grab one and we'll just go with it from there. This is a demo, so we're going to go ahead and we'll say add selected. Dropped my mouse, sorry. Then we'll get that. We'll see those load in here. So you'll see the blue banner that shows that it is a form. It's just a blank form, not completed yet. And you'll be able to go in and edit them from there. We can also upload them directly from our computer. So we just click computer. We should also be able to drag and drop the document from our file in here. So we'll just drag and drop it from our files and we'll see that upload. This is actually a flat PDF and you'll see PDF right here. And so you'll be able to upload that. We can go add fields later on. I'll show you that later when we go to creating envelopes and things like that. And then finally, one other way that you can add documents to your room is this inbox button. You can email them to your DocuSign account. So if you go to your inbox up at the very top, and then you're going to see this email right here. So this is going to be your inbox email address. So it's specific to you and your DocuSign account. So if you send any documents here, they're going to add all of those documents to this inbox here. And from there, you'll be able to choose what room to add it to or things like that. So if someone emails you forms, like the other agent emails you forms, you can email them, forward them to yourself, and automatically upload them through here. So you do have that option as well. Alrighty. So now that we have those forms added, we do want to go ahead and look at editing the forms and filling them out. So down through here, you can select the individual forms and then you can fill out information. So we'll grab this one right here. Give it a second to load. And we would be editing it in here for this specific room now that we've added it to the room. We'll see this information has started to fill out from our room details and our opportunity details. So we can add in additional information or we can go in and edit anything that needs to be edited. But we can go in and go ahead and pre-fill some of this that needs to be pre-filled. You go through, make sure everything looks right. Then we would just click save and close through there. And you can do that with all of the forms you'll need through there. And as we add more details to our details tab or to our opportunity, those should update on those forms that we haven't sent out yet as well under our documents tab. Alrighty, so then we want to look at our options here for creating an envelope or selecting multiple documents at once. So if we go through, nope, I just selected the document instead of clicking the box. Hold on just a second. So this one, for example, is a referral, so we can say it's to this agent. And then you can add their firm name, the address, and things like that. So you can go through and fill out the referral form or whatever you need. Then you just click save and close. And next time you open it or when you go to send it out for signatures, it's going to have that information filled in. So then we have the option to select multiple at a time. So I'm going to grab, actually I will, because I filled it out. There we go. So we're going to grab our multiple at a time. And then you'll see this hidden action menu appear right here. So we have a couple things in here that we would take a look at. You can print them as they're filled out right there. You can delete them. You can archive them. Um, and then you can also create an envelope with them. If you have a flat PDF, it does need to be edited within the envelope. It can't just be edited right here. But we'll go ahead and we'll say create an envelope. So creating an envelope is how we are going to send it out to our clients or contacts for signatures. So we're going to go ahead and click create envelope. And then you're going to want to select the roles you are sending this to. So on here, you're going to see all these different ones. So we'll say seller one, and we'll say the listing agent as well. If you need to sign it, you will want to select yourself and add yourself as a recipient on there. Basically, what you're selecting right here is whose text box or who's going to sign it, and so who needs the form option, who needs a place to sign, things like that. So if you don't select anyone here, you are probably going to need to manually add people, add forms, add signature lines and things like that. But if you go ahead and grab at least some of these, you'll be able to do that, and then we can just click continue. So we'll select who's going to be a recipient. It's taking a second to load over here. Here we go. All right. So then we'll see those documents that we grabbed right here are available for us to view. We can see which ones we've grabbed. So if we click view on this one, it's just going to show a blank form right here. So if you'll remember, we filled this out previously. We added information here. But these are going to just show up as blank forms. It's just showing you what form it is. If we went next step, we're going to see the information that has pre-filled there. But this view right here is just going to show you the blank form that you're using. You can add additional forms. If you grab the wrong form, you can click the X right here and remove it from your documents in this envelope. So you have those options through there. Scrolling down, you'll be able to select the recipients for your document. So who's going to receive an email to sign this, and you can fill out this information. It will generally auto-populate from your DocuSign contacts, which is going to populate from your opportunity. So when you have that email on that opportunity with the contact that's linked to it, that email is going to be the one that shows up here. So we can set our signing order right here. So maybe the agent needs to sign first. So we can drag and drop them around. You'll see this number updated, but this one didn't. It's just a glitch we've been seeing in DocuSign recently. So just update that number on the side if it doesn't actually automatically update for you. And then you can choose the name, the email, and then you can also choose what they need to do. So do they need to sign? Are they an in-person signer? Are they receiving a copy? Do they need to view it? Do they need to specify recipients? Are they allowed to edit? Are they allowed to update recipients? Or are they signing with a notary? So you have those options to go in and change it. You can customize to add an access code that only they can view, or add a private message directly to that recipient through there. You can also remove them from the recipients list if you need to. But you can go through, we'll say this one, it's just going to view it. And it's going to say by changing this recipient's role, it will delete their fields, and it'll give you this option right here to change their role or cancel, since they do have something they need to fill out. We can do that. We'll just say, that'll let me go to the next step. But you can go down even further. You can add additional recipients. You can add delays through here if you need to. And then we have this message field down below. So this is going to be the subject line. This is what they're going to get in email. It's going to say this right here. You can edit that if you need to, and then you can enter a message. You can change it for each recipient just by clicking this box right here. And it's going to allow you to go through and customize what language it's in, what subject line they're seeing, what the message is for each of the recipients. I'm going to go ahead and we'll just go with this one right here. And we'll just add a message. And then you would just go ahead. And so we have this page filled out. And next we are going to just click this next button down in the bottom right corner. And this is where we are going to get into adding fields down on the side. We'll see that those edits we've made populate right here, so that information has autofilled. We also have the option to add text to that box right here. But really, this is what we're sending out for signatures. So we've already filled out most of the fields through here. But at this point, you want to make sure that everything is filled out properly. So as you go through, you can see the different fields fill out, and you'll see this signature bubble fill right here where they need to initial. Then down below, you'll see that they need where they need to sign down here. And these are all color coded. So they're going to be the colors that you actually saw on the recipients list on the page before. But you can also click in the top left corner and you'll see all of the different colors right in here. And you can toggle between them, and that's going to change who the field is for. So maybe we need to add a field for this person right here. So this is going to be the seller. So you would change that, and then you can go in and you can add those fields through here. So maybe we need to add a signature bubble for them. This is definitely not the right place to add it on this form, because this one is actually a referral form between agents. So, but if you needed to, you can drag and drop it wherever. So for example, if you didn't choose who was going to be receiving this at the very beginning when we created the envelope, you may need to go in and add those signature fields through there just to make sure it is sent to them and they do have a field to sign. I've seen that come back fairly frequently where people are like, oh no, it's not signed, but it's saying it's completed. It's going to say it's completed if all of the bubbles have been filled out. So if they don't have a signature box and then they fill out everything else, it will tell you that it has been completed and that it is fully complete. You do have to add that signature box if it's not already. So this is just where I'd like to point out to go ahead and make sure you have signature boxes in all the right places and things like that, so you won't have to resend it for signature and things like that. So just one place you do want to make sure you have all the right fields on there. It is color coded, so you can usually skim through and see where those signature bubbles are. You will see that these are pretty big right now, and even these text boxes right here, you're going to see that it's a bit bigger than the actual line. Once you actually once you send it out, it's going to look right once it's been signed. So don't worry about that too much. And then when we have a flat PDF like we do right here, we can still add those signature bubbles right here. This is a newsletter, so it's not really a great example of a custom form. But if you did have a custom form, you can drag and drop those signature boxes. So they need to sign, and we need the date they signed right there. And then we also have the option to have their name, email, company, and these are things that they would fill out. Phone number. You can add a text box that they need to fill out right here. Number, checkbox, drop down, radio buttons. So we can create check boxes as they can check beside the lines right here. And as you select it, you'll see on the right-hand side that we have the option to go in and edit these. So we can make it read only. So we can say they're only able to read this checkbox. They're not actually able to select it. Or we can make it so that they can select it as they go through and sign it. So they'll have that option there. You can change the recipient if you maybe grabbed the wrong one. And then you can change some of that formatting through there as well. So once we have all of the fields that we need in here, you would just go ahead and you would click send. You can either send later and go ahead and schedule it, or you can send it now. You have the option to preview them by clicking preview in the top right corner. Wait a second. And you can see what it'll look like to each of the people signing. So current one is going to be our seller, so you can see what it looks like to them. You can go in and see where they need to sign, and it'll be a required field and all those different things. So you have the option to go through and see all of that. You can see we have this required signature and that text box. Then we can go ahead and they can go through and fill it out there. You can toggle between all of the recipients here to see how each of them are viewing it. You can also toggle between what view they have. So if they're viewing it on a desktop, a tablet, or a mobile device, it's going to change what their view is through there. But then we would be able to send it out. Under this actions menu, we can save and close, discard it, or edit any of the prior steps we had. I'm going to go ahead and we'll just say save and close because I don't want to actually send this out right now. We'll just say save and close, and it's going to bring us right here. And we'll see our envelopes right here. And as they are completed, once we go over to our documents, we will see these will turn green. So you'll see a green banner, it'll say signed, and it will have the completed document in there. So once it has been signed in there, you'll want to go back over to your opportunities. And under your opportunities tab, you're going to see all of the different documents required right through here. So you'll just click in the select field and you'll be able to see all of the documents from that room that you can select from right here. As long as they are signed, you'll be able to see them here. So clearly mine's not signed right now, so it's saying no options, but it does need to be signed, and then you'll be able to go through and upload those here. And you'll want to upload for listed, under contract, closed, and all of those. And then under each, you'll submit it to the Market Center between each. If you need to upload it directly to your from your computer, you would just click here and change to attach files from your computer instead of DocuSign. And then you can drag and drop them like we did earlier. Just go ahead and drag and drop that there. And you'll see it populate there. And once you have those required documents, you have the option to go ahead and submit it to your Market Center. So you'll see those go through there, and then your Market Center is going to be able to approve or deny it or tell you, conditional approval or things like that. So we have those options through there. That really covers DocuSign. I believe I have all of that covered. We can export a room summary, add a folder, or I think your Market Center has to close the room, but you can leave the room. And that's about all. There is to DocuSign. If you have questions, go ahead and drop those in the chat, and I'll have plenty of time to get through questions today. So if you have those, go ahead and drop them in. If you don't have questions, you're going to go ahead and leave. No worries, you can go ahead. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Yeah, feel free to reach out if you need anything.